Toll Road here in Washington, D.C. at the Museum of American History. Let's learn something. Buckle up, kids. About to take a ride on the toll road. Today at the Smithsonian, let's learn a few lessons. The first lesson I learned is that if you try to take a picture of the flag that flew over Fort McHenry over 200 years ago, that a security guard will yell at you. Also learned that clocks were just a little bit more ornate and larger than they are now. And here we learn people complain about everything. And who knew that Davy Crockett was the one that initiated a hatchet as a political symbol? And yes, Davy Crockett, he was of that great political party, the Whigs. And we learned that fire trucks are not always red. Speaking of red, they also had a display on the Latino influence on baseball. Now look closely. Notice the markings on the bat? Young Howard Martinez and his father, Leopoldo, carefully blowtorched darkened patterns on the bat to make a tortoise shell design. When it broke, Howard and his brothers hammered and glued it back together again. Here we learn that if a cow was to get in the way of this train, it would be very, very bad news for that cow. Now I believe we need to learn about some healthy food groups. Donuts. Who remembers the McDLT? It had maters. Fraggle Rock, it's boober. Let's learn a little bit about maritime America. Let's test it out. Pirates say R. What? Fake news. Pirates kept parrots. True, but they're souvenirs. Pirates drank rum. I'm going to say true. Pirates made prisoners walk the plank. False, just Peter Pan. We also learned that lettuce salesmen of the day were just a wee bit creepy looking. And we learned even in the early days, people dressed their pets funny.
Big John, was that John Mrs. Jones I saw yesterday in Smithsonian? He is too. Gone to learn how people speak now.
Who is the only superhero who can defeat Pinata Man? Give up? Batman! Waka, waka, waka. Well, that was different. Yep, lousy, but different. What are you looking at, sailor? You can't afford this car. Beep, beep. Out of my way, I'm a rebel. Ah! And here we take a look at a very classic car, the Tucker. They've got a better display of light bulbs here than even Menards. And now we all learn that the toll road here spent about a decade working for the electric company. Try reading these. 0784 broken, 4619, that's 7343. There's too many broken ones on that. 44717 and 302. What do you say? Let's learn about places of invention. These guys are terrible at Pong, though. Look at that. Yeah, they're not good. No, there's got to be. Who knew that the man that invented Pong also invented the game Simon? And yes, I do believe we need to get back to this form of hair permanence. The very hard to break $100,000 bill. The value of this art made from money begins at least $1. I've never, ever received better advice from a hat. You big dummies! If I have heard of a brand of a violin, it's probably a good one. No word on whether George Washington used this telescope for surveying or for peeking on a young Martha. I've received so many requests over the years wondering what George Cleveland's top hat and overcoat looked like during his inauguration. Well, here you go. Dorothy's ruby red slippers and the famous message that goes with them. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. That's going to do it for the toll road at the Smithsonian and the National Museum of American History. And, who knows? Who knows? Who knows where the toll road will lead to next?